All right, fellas, welcome back. As much as we love to clown on females on Twitch who like to pretend to be your online uwu anime girlfriend waifu and all that bullshit, there actually is some very serious risks to this behavior, and I think a lot of us know that things like this can happen, but when they actually do happen, it makes it like 1,000 times more scary and disturbing. So when stuff like this goes down, we need to talk about it, all right? We gotta have a serious conversation about this. There are way too many fucking weirdos and freaks out there, man, all right? So I know you guys know who Amouranth is, right? All you tier 3 subs out there. We've done plenty of videos about Amouranth before, and usually, unfortunately this time, it's not about her selling farts in a jar or doing something else ridiculous, right? No, she actually had something really, really scary happen to her. So the article here from Amaranth says, Amaranth Stalker arrested after showing up at her house. The popular Twitch streamer Amaranth gives fans an update on her stalker situation, revealing that they have been arrested. They have been arrested. Thank you, Amaranth, for not assuming her stalker's gender. It's a he, obviously. And unfortunately, there's way too many dudes out there that are exactly like this. Something needs to be done about them, for real. We really got to think of a solution, you know what I mean? So here's what Amaranth had to say about this in a thread on Twitter. It says, my stalker traveled from Estonia, Europe, and came to my city, camping out in a hotel with a line of sight to my P.O. box, and spent over a month camping out daily at a Starbucks next to my P.O. box. 44 days and 33 minutes, he psychotically streamed every minute of his excursion, internet signal permitting. Everything in real time on Twitch, typically to 0 viewers, but growing as he gained notoriety. Now, I want to know, who was watching this shit and, didn't notify the authorities? Or somebody. Without naming names, this actually reminds me of a situation we had where a YouTuber was streaming a dude who was actually pulling up to another YouTuber's house, and he thought it was funny. I know a lot of you guys are going to know exactly what I'm talking about when I say that, but I'm telling you right now, guys, if you ever witness something like this, and you're sitting there in the chat talking, or you're encouraging this type of behavior, as far as I'm concerned, dude, you are an accomplice to that shit, all right? Once you take something to real life, you have totally crossed the line. This is dangerous. This is how people get killed. She says his account would get taken down, but he would make another, maybe using the screen name alias N+1, ticking up numerical suffix in his screen name methodically almost. So every time his Twitch would get banned, he would just add a letter to the end of his Twitch name and continue on. By his own admission, he went scorched earth and sold everything and left his entire life in Europe to come here on a hopeless and self-destructive pilgrimage. This is absolutely insane. She says he sold his house, car, all of his possessions, and even his cat, all by his own admission in a series of publicly posted and privately detailed vlogged videos. Almost a manifesto. The only things he brought with him other than his phone and the clothes on his back was a saxophone and a change of clothes into formal attire. The saxophone would appear in a few live streams of himself playing in public places across Houston, Texas, serenading no one in particular. It allowed him to carry around occasionally a saxophone case though, and it made me very nervous. Was this plausible deniability to carry that case around, and then when the time came to switch it out with a more lethal instrument? I tried to be clear while he was in my Twitch chat. I'd clearly state I don't want him to come / don't want to meet him, and he'd say, liar, liar, fiance. What a fucking weirdo, my dudes. He made dancing videos reminiscent of the Buffalo Bill dance scene in Silence of the Lambs and kept sending them to me. And then she tweeted this image of him, which I'm absolutely not going to show you here. But if you happen to see the Twitter thread, yeah, this would make me feel not very comfortable as well. I mean, this guy is clearly mentally deranged and has serious problems. And that's not to make an excuse, right? A lot of people are like, oh no, he's sick. Fuck that, dude. We need to lock people like this up. I don't think there's any cure for somebody like this, all right? If somebody is gonna sell off their entire estate and everything they own, their pets, all of their clothes, their house, dude, that guy was coming. He was gonna do something bad, all right? If he ever got in front of her, something bad was gonna happen there. This wasn't to get married or get engaged or whatever the fuck he said he was gonna do here, become fiancés. It was gonna end much, much worse than that. When you got nothing to lose, you can only assume that the worst is gonna happen. So here's how it ended off when he actually got arrested. She says, once he got to his house, he cased the vicinity for 30 minutes and the police declined to act. He streamed himself outside, slinking around, mumbling about how he knew it was wrong, but quote, I have to. When he started trying to break in and gain entry, I called 911. Dispatch was rude, cutting me off, putting me on hold. It took them 33 minutes to arrive. Unknown to the stalker, an armed person or a group of people, some who I employ, had been over to my house for protection, heavily armed behind cameras, security systems, and big guard dogs. Great job getting dogs, Amaranth, because as we know, all dogs are, in fact, vicious killers. I didn't want to be responsible for what would happen if he forcibly gained egress, and with the apparent lack of motivation for law enforcement, at least in the news regarding shooting, she's talking about Uvalde there, to intercept/engage out of fear for their own lives, I saw as the only real option I have. He did end up getting arrested and detained. The embassy was contacted, and he is currently not in Houston. That's all I can say for now. So this is just terrifying, man. There's a real risk to doing this. You hear about it all the time with Twitch streamers, YouTubers, podcasters, like anybody who's really in the content creation space. You're at risk of people doxing you, trying to come after you, find out where you live, swatting you, not to mention that one's always the scariest because you could literally end up dead, and people have ended up dead before accidentally in the past from that. Even me as like a nobody on YouTube here, like I've received my fair share of weird messages, believe me, so I can't even imagine what somebody like Amaranth deals with on a daily basis. It sucks too because 99.9% of the people that you deal with that watch you are the coolest motherfuckers you'll ever meet, right? All of the fellas that I talk to on Twitter in the DMs or that I run into in-game and search and destroy and shit, like everybody ends up being super cool, but you can just never be too careful. Like you can never ever get too friendly with somebody because you just don't know who they are or what they're trying to do on the down low, and that's what makes it so scary. So for anybody, it's a risk, but for female streamers that play the online girlfriend part, dude, I can't even imagine how bad it actually is. And the police really can't do anything about it either until something actually happens. I've heard of other YouTubers who say, like I think it was H3, he said there was a guy outside of his house and he knew he was there to fuck with him, and when he was on the phone with the police, they said they really can't do anything until he sets foot on his actual property. And that is just the worst part of this shit, dude. Like, yes, I know they're technically not doing anything, but I feel like if you have a mountain of evidence like she had against this guy, something has to be done. You can't wait until it's too late, dude. There's way too many weirdos out there with all of the worst intentions. So I don't blame her for having a bunch of security people with guns and shit and a bunch of big ass dogs on her property. I would do the same shit. To wrap this up, my last thought on this is it's even scarier after they get arrested because you can't really have any guarantee that they're not going to come back and try to do it again. Like, this guy sold his house and everything he owned. He's got nothing to go back to. So even if he gets deported or whatever ends up happening, like, who is to stop him from coming back? Luckily, I've done law enforcement's job for them, okay? So I've already come up with the solution to this, right? So when I win president in 2024, we're gonna do two things on the agenda. One, stop making stupid people famous, and two, we're gonna put an end to stalkers by doing this. If you're a confirmed stalker on record on the books in law enforcement, we're gonna take you, we're gonna put a fucking ankle bracelet on you, just like the ones that they do for house arrest. And if you go too close to the person's house, the one that you're stalking, it's just gonna fucking blow up and kill you, all right? Boom. No more problems, okay? We warned you what would happen, all right? This isn't a game anymore. This is the perfect solution for this. It's just like in a game of Cranked in Call of Duty, right? If you blow up, it's your own fault. We told you exactly what would happen. Sorry you made the wrong choice, all right? Who's with me? Anyway, fellas, that is about enough goddamn internet for one day. That was a lot to take in. Really, really scary stuff here, okay? Anytime we have to go and defend the e-girls, you know something serious is happening, but this is just something that no normal person can get behind. So you guys let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I'm sure the fellas will have oh so much to say about all this, and I look forward to reading your responses as always. If you guys enjoyed the video or were absolutely horrified by it, I know I was, then do not forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe for more awesome, amazing videos just like this. Turn on your goddamn notifications so that you can be a part of the buzz every single time a new video goes live. Special thank you to my channel members as always for your extra support. You guys are the true MVPs, and I could not be doing this without you. Check out dyfo merch down below. Follow me on Twitter, Twitch, and my second channel. Links to everything is in the description, and I will see you dudes in the next video. Love you, bye. Stay safe, fellas. For real.